run with the 6-foot ball.
Among the dozens of U.S. patents Cordani holds, this one may top them all. A weather modification patent that essentially gives him the power to change Mother Nature.
Pretty neat, isn't it? I was in shock. It was an amazing patent to get through.
Cordani works with a variety of polymers.
The polymers are used in weather and in fire and in drought situations.
He's got a flame-retardant polymer-based product called DynoFire.
You could see 1800 degrees, the torch won't touch my hand at all.
Then there's DynoDrought, which keeps seeds and plants moist for 30 days.
We're going to go do some typhoon research in the very near future.
And now, this, DynoStorm, his newly patented secret weapon. Something he says will stop storms dead in their tracks by sucking moisture out and turning them into harmless slime. Imagine taming a monster hurricane. Think of the lives and property that could be saved. Government scientists tried it in the 50s and 60s after a series of deadly hurricanes.
Sending to flight level 180.
Planes seeded clouds with silver iodide to break up storms. After 2 decades of failure, Project Storm Fury died. In this wash tub, he shows how his trade secret powder would absorb moisture in a hurricane. The water turns to slime.
So it's the ability probably to absorb another 20 pails of this water. Is regular ocean water, salt water.
The slime then breaks down and disappears when it hits the ocean.
And that's when my lights turned on. I said, we have something here. Because the product was designed to absorb water. Whoever thought salt water would break it down?
Cordani took his eureka moment skyward. His company spent more than $1 million on research and testing, making sure his product won't harm fish or other marine life.
We have scientists from all over the world. We needed support from them. They did a lot of testing at different facilities and institutions in the U.S.
3, 2, 1, drop.
That included dropping 9,000 pounds of the absorbent powder on a small storm cloud off the coast of Florida.
Looks like we lost a big section out.
A nearby airport tower reported seeing the cloud disappear. Radar picked up a small blip that vanished from the screen.
It does have the ability that I'm claiming it does. And that was a building tropical thunderstorm we hit. It wasn't just a cloud.
More test flights are in the works for Cordani's magic powder. A man ready to duel with Mother Nature during one of her darkest moments.
Killing hurricanes, if it's possible, it could save a lot of lives.
Now, some scientists say it is. They are watching Hurricane Lily, the strongest storm on Earth right now, to see if it might be able to kill or at least weaken a big storm. Right now, Lily is heading down the coast, heading towards the coast, rather, Louisiana, with wind gusts of 140 miles per hour. Now, if it hits land at this rate, it will be one of the strongest storms to hit the mainland in 10 years. Residents along the Gulf Coast boarding up windows, leaving the area. But what if we could stop a storm? Becky Worley shows us the plans.
This military plane is about to drop a bomb on Mother Nature.
3, 2, 1, drop.
The payload? 8,000 pounds of high-tech polymer designed to absorb 2,000 times its own weight in water. Florida-based Dynomat makes the powder.
It'd be interesting to see what happens when it hits that cloud.
This was an experiment conducted last year. The next step, target a hurricane. The company thinks the powder, called Dynogel, can weaken powerful storms. The National Hurricane Center used computer modeling to study the technique. Florida State University meteorologist Peter Ray, he thinks the idea is worth testing.
Our whole goal is to understand nature better.
Ray's offering his one-of-a-kind hurricane hunting truck, complete with dual Doppler radars, a satellite dish, and computer gear. All this for Dynomat's next planned experiment. His payoff, deeper insight into one of nature's deadliest forces.
Where hurricanes will go, how they will intensify, how will they decay, what storms will produce tornadoes from funnels, which will not.
In the next several weeks, Dynomat hopes to use the truck to observe a test on a tropical system. They want to see whether Dynogel could really slow a storm.
We feel in the future we'll be able to protect coastlines all across the world.
Now, the company is also in negotiations with Russia to use 2 giant Antonov cargo planes for a full-scale test. They'd carry 660,000 pounds of Dynagel powder, Michaela.
This is amazing. How soon before it's going to be tested? You said a couple weeks?
Yeah, it could be as early as 3 weeks, and they don't need to wait for a full-fledged hurricane. Any old tropical storm will do.
Peter Cordani and J.D. Dutton think they can. By dumping a super absorbent product directly into a hurricane, they think they could reduce the hurricane's strength and thus its ability to wreak havoc by as much as 60%. Mr. Cordani is the chief executive officer of the company that produces the absorbent material Dynomat, and he joins us now. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
What's the premise here? Is this like a kind of reverse cloud seeding or what?
Yes, it's in the family of cloud seeding. What I have here today to show you, we have a bowl of water, and I want to show you the ability of the product. This would be almost like a cloud seeding, and you'll see instantly how it absorbs all that moisture on contact. All the water is totally gone in the bowl. And what we're trying to do is absorb the moisture and extract it from it, and it will slow the storm down, take the devastating punch out of the storm. And also very unique about the product, it has an endothermic feature in it. It will cool down the storm up to 15 to 20 degrees. And then it will fall harmlessly down towards the ocean, and this would be salt water as it would be falling into our ocean. And you can see immediately it reliquefies into water. All the gel is gone.
Can it work in a larger venue, and can you find out if it can work in a larger venue?
Yes, approximately about a year ago, we had the opportunity to go up with some aircraft, and we cleared a building thunderstorm off the Doppler radar. So I believe at this time, working like we just put the product together with Evergreen, where we have the new aircraft, and now with that aircraft, we're getting ready to test. And between the polymer and the aircraft and the science that we have involved, I think it won't be a problem at all.
Was there a thought that you might try this out on this Hurricane Ivan as it approached Florida?
No, there's still a lot of testing to go through. We're trying to get the scientific data to convince the science community this is safe for our environment.
I can't imagine that there would be a pro-hurricane lobby somewhere. What's holding this up?
We are moving fast as we can. It took a long time to get the aircraft together because this is a new design system that Evergreen just developed and built. It's not on paper anymore. It's actually flying as you see. And there's a lot of testing and working with the professors like Dr. Peter Ray, trying to get the scientific data we need. We're just in the mix right now of building some advanced Doppler radar equipment so we can learn and find out what each little particle is doing up there.
Well, Mr. Peter Cordani, CEO of Dynomat, if this works, there will be statues of you up and down the Florida coast. Good luck, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And we were just praying, crying out to God, just hoping for this thing to let up.
Hurricane Andrew devastated a total of over 1,000 square miles of land.
Andrew hit the least populated section of Miami, of Dade County. If it had been just 20 miles to the north, all the statistics would have been almost tripled.
Andrew left around 160,000 residents homeless and killed 23 people. It taught scientists never to underestimate the power and unpredictability of wind.
All in all, it went from a minimal tropical storm to a Category 4, then Category 5 hurricane in just about 36 hours. Tremendous intensification, which is the hardest thing for us to forecast, is these rapid intensification.
Hurricane Andrew caused more than 20 times as much damage as the United States' worst tornado. When averages are taken into consideration, year after year, hurricanes cause nearly 5 times as much damage as tornadoes. But do hurricanes have to cause so much devastation? Is there any way we can prevent the wind being so destructive? We know that the damage caused by a hurricane goes up dramatically with wind speed. In some conditions, reducing the wind speed by just 10% can reduce the damage by a quarter. The powerhouse of hurricanes is the moisture within them. As water vapor condenses, it releases enormous quantities of heat that helps to dry